Hi everyone, welcome to the Holistic Birth Podcast, where we put the power in families' hands to have the safe, satisfying journey they deserve. My name is Allison.
And I'm Brigitte. We are two doulas who love bringing information along with inspiration to help you feel confident and powerful in your choices throughout the birthing year.
We cover all topics around pregnancy, birth, and beyond. We're so glad you're here.
Let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome back to the Holistic Birth Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about morning sickness, which is, a very common and unfun thing to deal with. So,
Yes.
Yeah, we have some tips we want to share today and some other information. So, yeah, let's get right into it.
Let's dive in.
Yeah.
So what is morning sickness? A lot of people kind of have the assumption that it's like nausea in the morning, and the morning time is usually when it's maybe more intense, but it can definitely last throughout the whole day. So some people feel a little betrayed by the title. But morning sickness basically is any nausea or vomiting that you have throughout your day. Most of the time it's common in your first trimester, and it typically resolves by like 12 or 14 weeks. But there's different things that could kind of cause it. So hormone fluctuations, stress, nutrition, imbalances. Some like non-Western societies tend to have low counts of morning sickness or don't have it at all. So it's kind of interesting to think about maybe how the Western culture is with maybe any toxins or stress, things like that. But yeah, some people theorize that morning sickness is your body's way of trying to protect you from certain foods that might be harmful to you or baby. Others say that it's maybe the liver that's having a hard time detoxing the hormones. But yeah, basically it's nausea, vomiting. Sometimes it's hard to keep things down or to feel hungry for things. And there's also like hyperemesis. And so that's when it's pretty severe. Like you've maybe lost like up to 5% of your pre-pregnancy weight. You've maybe had a really hard time, not only just in the first trimester, but it extends to like the second or even third trimester. I had watched a documentary a couple weeks ago. Amy Schumer had hyperemesis, and she like broke it all out and was just very vulnerable about it. She would like before shows like need to like get it all together. She had to cancel a few things because of it.
But that's rough.
Yeah, but it helped normalize it. I feel like a lot of people don't know that it can be that bad, and they kind of wonder why didn't it just go away in the first trimester.
Yeah, right.
So,
because it definitely can last. I've heard of through the entire pregnancy, which is pretty miserable. It's not fun to deal with.
Not at all.
For me personally, being nauseous is like one of the least things that I ever want to feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, and vomiting in general is just terrible. Nobody wants to be doing that. So yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely not. So I know that like a concern that comes up a lot with clients is like they are like, oh my gosh, is my baby going to be okay because I'm not feeding myself? So those are definitely concerns I feel like we hear quite a bit. So do you like have any tips around like that specifically? Like what do you usually tell your clients if they're like concerned about baby not doing well if they don't eat, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of times it's the reassurance of maybe finding the things that work for you, which can totally change day to day. I've seen some really severe like hyperemesis before where they've needed like liquid IVs and just like the bare minimum, like just broth or whatever. But most of the time it's just a matter of finding out what works for you. So we're going to talk about some ways to relieve it. But I feel like when people are worried about baby, I've had people who say that, oh, well, in my culture, like it's a good sign that I'm feeling sick. And so that's something I've heard before. I'm like, okay, well, if you want to ride it out, then go for it. But I think most people, by the time they hire their doula, I mean, some people hire me in the first trimester, but usually it's second trimester. So most of it's gone. So, but yeah, people I think tend to appreciate just changes in, I guess, the nutrition that they can find with the things that maybe upset their stomach the least, or that they can tolerate the best, or if they find certain times of the day to eat and then avoid certain things that maybe exacerbate it. But then also using all these like naturally relieving methods too.
Yeah.
People, I think, appreciate that and then feel relieved by that, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's great info. So, all right. So let's get into ways to relieve it naturally. So herbals can help, such as like ginger and peppermint. Those are usually like the go-to things for helping with morning sickness. So like ginger candies, ginger tea, also dandelion tincture can be really good because morning sickness is kind of known to, because of liver issues. So not really issues, but just like your liver's a little bit depleted from, trying to process hormones and fluctuations there. So, so peppermint's definitely great, especially the essential oil. Just like smelling it or having a diffuser going can really be helpful. And yeah, again, the dandelion is great too. And then homeopathy, there's a couple different remedies. I'm probably not going to pronounce them all that well because they're a little funky names. They're Latin names. So cocculus, nux vomica, pulsatilla, sepia are also really helpful for morning sickness. And those you can get online. We'll actually link in the show notes where you can get those. So yeah, they'll be pretty easy to access, and you can get them at any health food store too. They usually have them as well. So yeah, those are those. And then smaller frequent meals like protein, balancing your macros, so your protein, carbs, and fat are really helpful. Eating nourishing foods, staying away from processed things, lots of sugar, also can be really helpful. Electrolytes and salt are really good, so you can get little electrolyte drink mixes. Just make sure you are careful of sugars. So usually trying to avoid the ones that have added sugar are a good idea. And then another really interesting one is lemon and barley cordial, which is you do once a day, or I think it's called cordial. Sometimes I pronounce it wrong.
That's all right.
You guys know what I mean. It's a nice little like cocktail drink without the alcohol. So yeah, just doing that once a day, and then just lemon in general. So like even adding lemon to your ginger tea or something like that can be really beneficial. And then some people will go with CBD, which can help with nausea. And then just like managing stress, meditation, trying to just reduce the amount of stress you're dealing with on a daily basis can really help with reducing that morning sickness too. So
I mean, and it's hard because it's kind of a catch-22. You're feeling stressed about the
Right.
nausea, and then it adds to. So it's such a cycle to get into. But yeah, meditation can be super, super helpful. I think there's like YouTube videos, and we'll have some stuff in the show notes, and I think we've talked about meditation before, but yeah, meditation can be really helpful with stress or anything else that might be stress reducing. Some people journal, or some people find that exercise or like just a walk outside can be really great. Talking to someone that you trust.
Getting out in nature, that's definitely helpful too.
Yeah,
Getting some sunlight and fresh air, those things can be really good.
Yeah. And other things could be like C-bands. I don't know if you've heard of those, but it's basically a little bracelet that has a point that goes to your wrist that can kind of help with, it's like an acupuncture kind of point, but it's your PC6, and basically you could find that yourself. If you're looking at your wrist, you can look at like where your tendons are on your wrist, find like right below where that vein crosses, and usually there's like a light soreness to the point, so that's how you kind of know you're finding it. So you could do that yourself without the C-bands, but acupuncture can be really great. Your acupuncturist will know which points to avoid and which points to prioritize. But yeah, there's different points in the body that are really cool for how to help your body.
Yeah, definitely. Also, another one I discovered actually recently is gua sha. If people don't know what that is, it's like this little stone. A lot of people use it like on their face, and it works for, increasing wrinkles, increasing circulation in your face. But you can use it really anywhere on your body, and it does the same kind of thing, just hitting acupuncture points. So there's actually a technique where you use it on the front of your legs, which helps with, and you can actually use it on that same spot on your wrist too. And you just rub that area, and we'll actually link a video on how to do that. There's actually a really great blog post that we can do that we'll have in there that will have instructions on how to do that. So
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, while you're adding an acupuncturist to your team, might as well add a chiropractor. They're really great. And also kind of taking a look at your prenatals. A lot of people are advised to take them. A lot of people do take them. So kind of assessing like what are the contents of it. And sometimes like the really high levels of iron in the prenatals can make people feel more sick. So kind of taking a look at that, or if you're working with a nutritionist, finding like an alternative or reassessing your diet. Obviously sleep is a huge factor. The liver typically detoxes between like 1 and 3 a.m. or something. And so as long as you're sleeping during that time and beyond as much as you can, obviously that will be really helpful. But yeah, eating like a good protein like snack before bed can also help. Or if there's any like carbs or fats that you're kind of wanting to, or that you're in the mood for, that you're wanting to eat.
Yeah. Usually it's a lot of the time I hear it's mostly people just aren't eating enough, not getting enough protein. So, and that can, which is, again, it's catch-22 because you feel like crap. You don't really want to eat, but at the same time, you kind of have to start to like just take those little snacks and eat those as much as you possibly can. And that will eventually, hopefully reduce the nausea. So yeah,
and
it's tricky, but yeah.
Yeah. Some people eat like beef liver too, to support the liver.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes it's raw or in capsule form, right?
Yep, it is. Yeah. So if you can't, because some people can't tolerate the taste of liver, it kind of smells weird too. But yeah, I take the capsules myself, and it really does help with a lot of things. It's got tons of vitamins, minerals, B12, which that can help with morning sickness. So yeah, it's just an all around really good thing to take, and it's it's organs and it's natural, so it's kind of a nice way to handle that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like people do tend to stress out about it, and it's not enjoyable.
No, it's terrible.
It feels awful. It feels awful, and it's hard because it does kind of limit your ability to just do other things in your life. And so I think finding good outlets, finding that right kind of ingredient list that works best for you. I mean, I've had clients who've tried all of these things, and it was just each week was different. So if something's not working for you anymore, try adding something else or subtracting something else, and then maybe finding some relief. Even the positions that people are in, I think that for some reason that's been a contributing factor for some people, like if they're staining too quickly, or if it's really bad, like hyperemesis or something. But gosh,
I'm thinking yoga too is another option to do it. Emotional freedom technique can help with those things, because like, I don't know, for me, like just being nauseous at any time makes me very anxious. So having those outlets and things to cope with it, because sometimes it just is what it is, and there's no way of avoiding it as much as you try. It's just you have to kind of ride it out. Those things can really just help you cope with it in general. So good list.
Yes. So definitely the blog that we'll have, and any other format that we post in, will have like good recaps of all these things too. So if you're trying to scribble these things down as we're talking, don't forget we have other ways that you can go and just kind of like look at the list of ideas, and we'd be curious to hear what worked for you or what didn't work for you. Sure. So let us know.
I'd love to hear from everyone, what, if we didn't mention something that really worked for you, that would be great. If you, could send us, an email, or just drop a comment on our YouTube, or even just like on, Apple iTunes. I know you can do a rating or something. You can throw it in there if you want. But send us a message, social media or whatever, and let us know it worked for you. And we can certainly add it to show notes or whatever. So we'd love to hear from you. Yeah.
And your intuition's strong, and your body is smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Body's really smart.
Our bodies are amazing. So they know what's up. Yeah. Usually they're just trying to send us messages. So All right. So I think that's it for this episode. I know it's kind of short and sweet, but really good information. Again, just remember, this is, a normal thing to kind of go through, and you're doing the best you can, and that's what matters. So just, we just want to help you feel better if you're feeling crappy. This is the end of this episode, and definitely catch us next week. We're going to be releasing an episode on how to choose your provider. So
I'm excited for that.
That's a good one. So we'll have lots of good information. I mean, all of our episodes are great, I think, but every time we're like, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one, but they're all awesome. So how to choose your provider, and we'll be giving you tips on that. And so thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
That's it for this topic. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the show notes for any resources or links that we mentioned today. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on your preferred podcast platform, and also be sure to give us a review.
It really helps us grow and reach more people who could benefit from this info. Also, check us out on YouTube and visit our blog where we have this podcast transcribed for you.
We'd love to connect over social media too, and we're just an email away if you have any questions or if you want to request a topic to be covered.
We hope this helps your mind, body, and soul in having the supported and holistic journey you are so deserving of. Embrace the power within you.